Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackie and I hope you're all having a great day today. So we are on day number 8 of 31 days of Halloween. And what we're going to be doing today is discussing your guys' scary stories. So I got quite a few responses from my video on sleep paralysis asking you guys for your stories on that. So we're gonna go over some of the stories you guys sent about sleep paralysis and then just some other scary stories. So in my last video, I got really dizzy out of nowhere and there were a bunch of different theories on it and there were some real physical theories and I'm gonna get all of that checked. But in the meantime, just to kind of rule out that it's not like a spirit or something, I'm testing my theory and I brought Samantha in here to see if I get dizzy or not. I've been told she protects me, sometimes I feel like she protects me, so maybe having her right here next to me, I won't get dizzy this time. So let's just see what happens. I'm gonna leave her right here and see if she protects me or not. And if I don't get dizzy, then that is gonna be crazy. And I'll be completely honest if I do or don't, because it usually comes on pretty strong, but I usually just cut it out. Okay, so Samantha's on the bed right there. If you don't know who she is, so she's my haunted doll. Someone sent her to me anonymously. I still have no idea who sent her, so if you did, please just DM me, please. I want to know. So yeah, she's pretty cool. I used to think she was bad, but now I know she's good, so she just hangs out. I take her everywhere with me, so she's just laying on the bed next to me. And if you guys have any scary stories that you want to be told, make sure you send them to me. I have my email and Instagram linked right down there, so you can just DM or email me your stories, and you can choose to be anonymous or I can put your @ in. It's your choice, but I'm gonna always be doing these videos like once a month, once every few weeks, whatever. So make sure you keep sending me your stories because I love reading them and I think you guys love hearing them. So yeah, just keep on sending them. But other than that, let's get straight into the video. Okay, our first story today comes from someone named Mystery on Instagram. So Mystery said, I just watched your video on sleep paralysis and I have experienced this as well. One time I came home after working third shift. It was 8 a.m. so I went to sleep. I opened my eyes only to see a tall shadow at the end of my bed. It was more of an outline, dark, but at the same time almost see-through because it was still daylight in my room. I see my dog jumping at it. My boyfriend at the time was laying next to me. I tried to say his name, which was Bill. I only got out bit and I couldn't speak. My body went numb. I closed my eyes for what seemed like 2 seconds, reopened them, and I was laying in a completely different position. So I guess I was asleep, but it seemed like I was awake. Second time this happened to me, it was a nightmare, also around 3 a.m. I'm just dozing off, then all of a sudden this huge black figure shows up in my doorway. It's as tall as the door, it has no face. I yelled at it to get out. I couldn't believe I got the words out of my mouth and I couldn't believe I said it so fiercely. It was gone. I closed my eyes scared, heart racing. I opened them, same thing, I'm laying in a different position, but I felt awake. I know I was. That thing comes for you when he thinks you're weak. I do believe it's a Grim Reaper. I'm now a nurse and I've heard of a couple nurses that seen something just as that hover over patients' beds before a few hours before they die. And most people stare up into the corner of the room at death and will talk to something. It's very scary. Okay, that is absolutely terrifying. Oh my gosh, I could not handle that. Like, I wanted to be, for the longest time, I wanted to be like working in the medical field, either doing like paramedic or maybe like ER nurse or something like that, but I did like a couple ride-alongs and one of them was in a hospital for like 12 hours, 2 separate times. I just can't do it. Like, kudos to all the nurses and first responders out there because the stuff you see is just insane. And I'm sorry, but the people freak me out more. Like just as she said, when someone's about to pass on, it's just, I can't be there for that. So kudos to the people who can. Okay, moving on to the next story. Thank you, Mystery, for that one. Next story comes from Velvet Kiss VC Tay. Okay, this story happened to me when I was 4. The reason I remember it vividly is because it traumatized me so much that my family and I moved to this apartment in Texas. It was night and we were all tired. I remember me trying to sleep, so I kept moving around when I opened my eyes and saw the bathroom door open with a woman. She had white dress, black hair, and 2 children, a boy and a girl. I started crying so bad and I told my mom her daughter was my friend. Years later, I was 7, we moved again. I saw a bird in the bed, but it wasn't real. I didn't tell my parents. When I turned 10, we moved again. And that's when my mom started having dreams about the lady that haunted me. My mom told her sisters, and she had a dream about the lady saying that she didn't have a chance to get me, and that she better watch out because she's after my younger brother, and my mom was terrified. On what was going to happen to my younger brother. I never encountered something like that before. The image of the woman with her children standing, watching me sleep, it traumatized me so much I can't get her out of my mind. That is so scary. That is like going for her younger brother now. That the whole family is seeing this figure. Something's attached to them and it does not sound good. I mean, I'm not one to take advice from because I haven't done anything yet, but I'd probably work on getting that thing out of there because it sounds like it's trying to cause harm. But once again, I haven't even done anything for mine, so who am I to talk? But thank you for sending that story. Alright, this next one isn't a sleep paralysis story, but it is scary. Hi, my name is Sophie and I love watching all of your videos. Thank you, Sophie. I saw your series of people telling you their scary stories, so I'd like to share some of mine. So when I was around 7 or 8, I had a babysitter. I've had the same babysitter since I was 2 weeks old up until I was 10. And my babysitter and her husband worked for my mom as janitors. Mind you, my mom works in hospitals and doctor's offices. My mom works in multiple buildings, but this specific one, everyone claims is haunted. I believe them because not just one person has had paranormal experiences here, but multiple people have. So one night I was with my babysitter and they had to work at night shift at my mom's job, so I went with them. My mom was on the job too, so both my babysitters and my mom were there. My babysitter's janitor's closet was on the bottom floor and my mom's office was on the top floor. So I was with my babysitter and my mom was in her office. When my mom heard what sounded like little kids giggling and running in the halls, my mom came out of her office to yell, "Sophie, stop running in the halls." But as soon as she came out of her office, the lights on that floor completely went out. So she ran back into her closet to text my babysitter and ask if I was playing with the lights. My babysitter responded no. Sophie was with me on the first floor. My mom started to panic because she was confused on what was happening. So she went to turn the lights back on and continued her work. Then that was it for the night. So here's another story that happened to me in the same building. I was with my babysitters again. He was cleaning out the lunchroom when he heard some noises behind him. He turned around and saw what looked like a shadow of a floating girl. She had no legs, long black hair, and was in the corner of the room. He wasn't one to panic, so he stayed calm and went to go tell his wife. Mind you, once again, it was only me, my mom, and the babysitters in the building. So he went to go tell his wife, and by the time he came back, it was gone. Okay, here's another story from her about the same hospital, I'm guessing. Here's another story. So my mom's friend also worked in this building. She had a night shift and she was the only one in the building. As she was walking out to leave, the doors wouldn't open. The doors to this building are automatic, so as soon as you walk up to them, they open. So she walked up to the door and it wouldn't open. So she turned around and saw a tall shadow of what looked like a tall man in a top hat. She panicked quickly and started banging on the door. Finally, the doors opened and she ran to her car and left. Oh my gosh, that is so scary. I don't get how these people continue to work in this building. I'd be out of there so fast. Okay, let's do a couple more stories. Okay, so this next story comes from Ashton. I think this is gonna be the last one because it's kind of long. So it says, so I only have one memory when I was a baby, and the memory is I was sitting in my baby crib listening to music on the radio, and I was looking at this little fake fish tank I had on my crib, and then the music switches to a different station all by itself. And it was like one of those stations where there's no one on, it's just static noise, and as a baby I was scared. I don't live in that house anymore, but my dad said my toys would go off randomly, also that would freak him out. This next one is when my parents got divorced and my dad got a rental house. and it could have attracted bad spirits because that was a really bad time for me, and my dad's ex-girlfriend lived with us, and she was verbally abusive to me, and I was really sad all the time I was there. But this one night I was watching Netflix on my school iPad, and I was on my loft bed and just randomly heard a big bang outside my door. And so I look all around my room, and then I see a black shadow of a man by my door. And then it starts moving towards the ladder of my bed. But it wasn't like it was walking, it was more like it was glitching. And so I turned my Netflix up really loud and put my blankets over my head and faced towards the wall all night. I didn't move. I always felt like there was someone watching me at night in that house. Well, I guess the stories aren't long, but there's like quite a few of them. This next story is from when I was at Girl Scout camp, and there was this certain campsite that everyone said was haunted. And it was also the prettiest campsite because it was by the water, and they would say if you don't believe in the campsite was haunted, you get stung by bees and wasps. Also, for some reason, this was the only campsite that had wasps' nests in the tents. Because they were platform tents and there was just 4 beds in each tent, the year I got put at that campsite was the year that they finally got rid of the nests in the tents. So the 3 girls that were in my tent were nice, and I already knew one of them already because she was in my troop. So we were all putting our stuff in the tent, and the first thing that started to happen was the stuff going missing. And one of the things that went missing was the girl's hat, and we tore apart the whole tent looking for it, but we couldn't find it anywhere. That is important to know because that comes up later in the story. So where we were laying in the bed trying to go to sleep, and we started to hear a little girl's voice saying, "I can't find my mom, can you help me find my mom?" Follow the arrow, and there was some light seeping into the tent making an arrow to the exit of the tent. And we all got scared and went straight to bed after we heard that. And the rest of the night we tried to ignore the noises, so the next night this one girl from our tent started acting off. And she just seemed like unusually mean. She would get mad and throw rocks at people, and she would tear down trees and other stuff. It started getting so bad that she had the last night to sleep in a locked down room, so she can't get out and hurt anyone else. And also one time we're in the woods standing still, and the shadow of a little girl with pigtails ran at us and disappeared randomly. And on the last night there, we could not still find the hat, and we had everything packed up. And we were sitting on the beds about to give up looking for the hat. Then it was just randomly sitting right next to the girl, not under anything, just right there. Let's just say I quit Girl Scouts and never went back there again. Okay, I believe that because that stuff has happened to me where I set something down, it completely disappears, I tear up my entire room looking for it, and then I look next to me and it's sitting right there. So it's, yeah, so I get that. Okay, she has one more story for us, and it says, the next story is more happy and more recent. It was dark in my mom's bedroom and I was sitting on her treadmill. My dog passed away recently and we didn't have the courage to get rid of his bed. I always felt his presence by his bed, so I was looking at it and I could slowly see a dog figure on his bed. And I just said to my mom, I think I see Georgie on his bed. And the more I looked, the more I could see him. I started seeing him more clearly and I started crying, saying, I can see him, I swear I can see him. And my mom was sad that she couldn't see what I was seeing. And another day I was sitting at the island at my house, so the kitchen and the living room are connected. And it's like they're the same room, but there's a hallway that leads to the dining room. If someone goes down that hallway, you can't see the person from the kitchen anymore. And I was sitting at the island and I just saw a black figure of a dog go from the living room to the hallway, and in my head, I was like, oh, that's my dog. So I went over there to pet him, but no one was there, and I remembered that he was dead. Oh, I love that last story. I like completely believe that. I just asked this necrophonic app and stuff if pets can still communicate with us after they pass away, and it was saying yes. And I feel like I've had experiences like that with my dog who passed away about a year ago. I've heard the sound of his paws walking, and it's like a different sound from the dogs I have now. It's like a weird trot he'd do. So, and he'd make all these weird grunts and snorts, and I swear I've heard that before. So I completely believe that pets are still with us after they pass away. So that's super cool that you were able to see him. So thank you for sending that to me, Ashton. Those stories are insane. But okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. If you guys want another one of these videos, let me know. And also please continue sending me your scary stories. I love reading them and talking about them, so please continue to do that. You can send them to my email right down here. It's mackiealbertson21@gmail.com. Or you can just DM me on Instagram, and make sure you put if you want to be anonymous or your @ because I don't want to out someone who doesn't want to be outed like that. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It's been a crazy past 8 days, just filming and editing and everything, but I'm having fun, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I'm gonna try to go somewhere either tonight or tomorrow night because I don't want to just sit here in every single video. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go somewhere cool, so stay tuned for that. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, and don't forget to turn on my post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my new videos this month. And also, if you haven't already, go check out my merch. And if you guys think there's someone specific that I should collab with, let me know and I'll hit them up and see if we can do anything, because I have 2 people coming this month that it's gonna be a collab, so I think that's gonna be really fun. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace. Oh, and also I just want to say, I just realized I didn't get dizzy at all today. Oh my gosh. Samantha doing her work. Okay, that's weird though. Usually I get dizzy every single time. Oh, it's weird that I didn't get dizzy for once. But I'm gonna have everything checked out in my house, make sure there's no gas leaks or anything like you guys were saying, because that is not good. We have had mold in our house before since we're near the ocean. It just kind of happens here. So we'll get that inspected as well. Make sure I'm not breathing in black mold or something bad. So thank you for all the concern, and I will keep you guys updated on that.